Talk about just in time. Holy cowabunga sauce, man. Like, for those of you who were here at the very beginning, after I already started my broadcast, or at least, whatever, this morning, about 20 minutes ago, my computer started getting funky. So I had to reboot. And I've been wrestling with it ever since to try and get on. And literally, right as there was like 2 seconds left on the countdown, I finally fixed it. And I popped up. I saw myself on the screen. I'm like, yay, I'm back. Oh, good morning, everybody. Glad to have y'all here today, as always. And before anybody has anything to say, I just want to make sure that everyone here sees quite clearly that I have two identical gray t-shirts. I'm not wearing the same shirt I wore yesterday. So don't give me no BS and don't at me, brah. I got 2 identical gray shirts. Here's the other one right here. This is the one I wore yesterday. So I don't want to hear nothing. Talking to you, David. Anyway, let's say hello to my wonderful, beautiful morning crew. Let's see who we got today. We got ATV Thunder, was the first one to show up. Thunder, yes. Cliff Hickson, hello, welcome. Good to see you, buddy. Terry Barnes, as always. Jimbo, what's up? Hi, Kiss. Good morning. Hope you're feeling good today. Jimbo. David, of course, in the house as always. Commentator Auditor. Good morning, Hezokuai Land. Good morning, Commentator Auditor. Good to see you as always. Brian Showman. Hello, welcome. Good to see you. Susan, the sassy great granny. Love you, love you, love you. Terry Barnes, David. I love all you guys. Salacious. That's another great one right there. Look at, I got the best morning crew. Man, you guys are the best. You're the best. Akiro 808 State. Yeah, good morning. Good to see you. Salacious AU, of course, one of my earliest supporters right there. Peck, the bird. Luna Knights, what's up? How's it going, Luna? Jimbo, Salacious, I guess, Peck. Nancy Marcho, hello. Always good to see you in the house. Let's see. Stanley Haynes. Yes, sir. Scott Ammo, hello. Billy Yank, good morning, buddy. Good to see you. Man, I got so many good people in here in the morning. Let's see. Benjamin Walter, hello. Deb Beasley, good morning. Walter McGavin, hello. Welcome. Good to see you. Terry Barnes. All right. So, thank you all once again for coming in. Good to see everybody here. Ask Luna. No, I don't. 2 identical gray shirts. All right, I'll buy that. Good morning. Good morning. Peck, ask Luna for a super. No, I don't go around eBagging, man. I mean, obviously, if I get one, I'm going to be happy. I don't mind making money, but I don't feel comfortable asking for it. I feel like I'm just being I don't know. And it's not an ego thing. It's actually kind of the opposite. It's more of a humility thing. Like I don't feel right. William Grabber, hello. But again, I'll take one if I get one. I love it. Luna, instead of a $200 super chat, you could do a $300 super. That's insane, dude. That's absolutely that's nuts. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Maybe you saw Luna give somebody a big super chat once or something. But let me tell you, $200 and $300. That's like my normal standard monthly income as far as YouTube goes. So like getting that in one super chat would just be insane. That would be like I can't even comprehend that kind of a big number. If you're using rash, does that mean Hez has a morning rash and he should probably get it looked at? Wait a minute. There's a new Glenn Serial video. Breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. Apparently there's some new Glenn Serial stuff out there. Let me see what you're talking about here in the chat over by there. No, I know. That is, just joking. I'm just having fun. That's what I do, babe. I have fun with you guys, man. Try to enjoy my mornings. Try to make your mornings fun too. Laugh at some idiots, and some other stuff. Why not? No, it's old. It was his last arrest. Oh, all right. Kiss a cat. What's up? So, do that to Artie. Anyway, so I got a couple of things on deck for you guys this morning. But before we get started, there are a couple things I wanted to go over. I talked about the shirt, and I also mentioned I had some computer issues, like literally right as at 7:00, my computer started, or 6:58 or whatever. My computer started really giving me a hard time, but I got it all set up now and fixed and taken care of. I've been downloading Schrodinger's cat videos for the past hour. Yeah, I mean, even in the afterlife, he's still a huge part of the community, man. In fact, when I did my Halloween stream, Mrs. Schrodinger's cat showed up for a while. That was beautiful. I loved seeing her. Um, R.I.P. Big Cat. That's right. For anyone who doesn't understand, and I do not mean this to, although once again, although I have a certain amount of humility when it comes to things, and I don't always feel comfortable asking for money or advertising my own stuff. This isn't for advertising purposes. This is FYI. My book, for those of you who don't know, the very first thing you see when you open the cover is "In Loving Memory of Schrodinger's Cat." Rest in peace, Big Cat. My book is dedicated to Schrodinger, man. I love the guy. A First Amendment auditor attacked a candidate. Is there a video of that? Send me a link if there's a video of that. So technically this morning I woke up with a rash. See, that's the thing. A lot of people love the hashtag rash, rise and shine with Hezokuai, because it's funny, rash has it. But some people are like, no, wait a minute. I don't want to be associated with a rash, man. That's kind of bad. So I like what Salacious is doing. Just use all three of them. Screw it. Good morning, Sam. I am. Good to see you. Edward, what's up? I have the links from Twitter. Sent them to Frauditor troll. Okay. He was my intro to subs. Yeah, pretty much me too. Or at least he was the first one I saw that was actually taking them to task, which was a huge influence, obviously, on what I'm doing. Plus the fact that for people, most of the people in here are my normal followers, but just in case there's anyone here who doesn't know, see, that's the thing, like, 3,000 subscribers, some people are like, oh, that's nothing, right? But for me, I've had this channel for like 12 years now. And in the beginning, I was just doing stupid videos around the house, whatever, filming the kids or filming myself being goofy or doing a Rubik's Cube or, unboxing toys with the kids or stuff like that. And it was really just for fun because I went to film school. So I wanted to kind of try and maintain some connection with the world of video and film, So I just did a YouTube channel just to have one. I didn't really pay attention. But then three things happened. First of all, way back when I only had like 10 subscribers, Cheeky Monkey mentioned my name on his channel, and my subs went up a little bit that night. And then Law Talk with Mike mentioned my name on his channel, and my subs went up a little bit. And then like a few months later, Schrodinger's cat played one of my videos and told his subscribers, when I wake up tomorrow morning, this guy better have enough subs better have over 1,000 subs. And when I woke up the next morning, I had over 1,000 subs. And it was from there that my channel really started to take off. So I owe everything to Schrodinger's cat, man. That dude, because it's not like I knew him. It's not like I talked to the guy in life outside of the internet. Like, he didn't have to do that for me. He didn't have to mention my name. He didn't have to tell his subs that they should sub to me. I mean, it was great. Like, there's absolutely no reason for him to acknowledge me at all, and he did. So that's beautiful, and I'll forever be indebted to him for that. You might have found someone to buy your house. Oh, man. I want a house. I'm tired of this bouncing back and forth between Wisconsin and Florida and Wisconsin and Florida and Wisconsin and Florida. I want to live somewhere where if my wife, ex-wife, I guess, whatever, if she wants to pull this bullshit with this split custody stuff and, us going back and forth with the kids 50-50 and all this nonsense, I'd rather be close. I'd rather, if my kids wanted to hang out, they could just come to my house and hang out, like, instead of making it this big, huge trip across the country. So I need to either move them out here or I need to move myself back up there or something. I don't know. I don't talk too much about my personal life. That's all crazy, nonsensical stuff. But I heard somebody's like, oh, I'm selling my house. I'm like, well, sell me a house. The parody you did because of Schrodinger's cat. Well, that was the video of mine that he played. Um, Joe Orga. What about Joe Orga? Ugh. Come to Vermont. It's safe here. All right. Hey, why not? Um, how's the cost of living out there like looking like though? And then I got to get a job out there first and get all that signed up. Anyway, we'll see. That's all a whole nother thing. If anyone got any inside info on anything that might help me as far as that goes, go ahead and drop me an email. Um, now, the good, the bad, and the ugly about where we're at right now. Adam Strange, what's up? Chili lovers, yeah, I love chili on a hot dog. A good chili dog is delicious. um, so here's the deal. Um, because of what I was just saying, where right before I went on, my computer crashed on me. Everything I had set up in my tabs in Chrome when it crashed disappeared. So all my setup and everything I did for the show today is gone. Um, but I remember most of it. So I'm going to take a second to try and pull some of that up so we could get back into actually doing something. So in the meantime, while I'm doing a little bit of work to kind of get back to where I was before I went on the air, hey, it's live television, ladies and gentlemen. You gotta take it as it comes. You know what I'm saying? You gotta do what you gotta do, what you gotta do, what you gotta do. And so I'm gonna do it. Because there's no way I'm not gonna go live if I can. Um, because I believe in giving you guys, because you guys are so good to me and you guys show up every morning. I'm not going to come out here and not show up because I had a little technical problem. If I can do it, I'm going to do it. So I'm here. Hez doing the improv. That's right. um, but so yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm gonna just pop on one of my old classic videos over by there and let that play through for a couple of minutes while I go back and re-pull up the stuff I had set up before my computer crashed and get you all ready for today's show. So this will be kind of like an intro, I guess. Let's see. Since Halloween's over and we're getting closer to Christmas, I'll play this again because this always seems to go over pretty well. And for those of you who haven't seen it, it's probably worth for you guys. And again, I'm just gonna let this play out while I'm getting. I just told the story twice. I'm not gonna say it again. Oh boy, love you guys so very very much. And I'm trying as I'm doing this every day. I'm getting better and better and better at it. I'm trying to actually because I realize that for me, I'm sitting here staring at a screen and I see the chat, but I'm realizing that like if I'm talking to you, I have to look directly into the camera, and that's how you make that connection, man. Like you guys, the eye contact. That's a thing. I mean, that's important to me anyway. But even though it's not literally eye contact, it's over explaining because I'm trying to damage control here from when my computer crashed this morning. All right, here, check this out. Happy holidays, the 12 days of numbers. Jingle bells, Glenda smells, Polly's not okay. Wife's in jail, can't make bail, oh, and this guy, he got tased. Walking across the land with a camera in their hand. Because they have no job, post office they will stand. Harassing people too, for AdSense revenue. Acting like a jackwagon is all they'll ever do. Oh, jingle bells, conflict sells, now they're getting paid. They don't care about our rights, I hope they get pepper sprayed.
Numbskulls in handcuffs and good window smashes. Morons arrested for all their trespasses. P. Barnes and his infamous in-court tasing. These are a few of my favorite things. When they misquote Poster 7, and it makes me mad. I just remember my favorite things, and then I don't feel so bad. On the first day of dumbness, Mike Gravelin gave to me Blendino without attorney. On the second day of dumbness, Regical gave to me 2 tasty tasings and Blendino without attorney. On the third day of dumbness, Van Valiant gave to me dumb UK substitute, 2 tasty tasings and Blendino without attorney. On the fourth day of dumbness, Artie gave to me 4 Moorish morons, dumb UK substitutes, 2 tasty tasings and Blendino without attorney. On the fifth day of dumbness, Schrodinger gave to me 5 windows smashed, 4 Moorish morons, dumb UK subset, 2 tasty tasings and Blendino without attorney. On the sixth day of dumbness, Team Skeptic gave to me 6 stupid Karens, 5 windows smashed, 4 Moorish morons, dumbs, UK subset, 2 tasty tasings and Blendino without attorney. On the seventh day of dumbness, Vilified gave to me 7 sloppy smackings, 6 stupid Karens, 5 windows smashed, 4 Moorish morons, dumb UK subset, 2 tasty tasings and Blendino without attorney. On the 8th day of dumbness, Familia gave to me douchebag in handcuffs, 7 sloppy smackings, 6 stupid Karens, 5 windows smashed, 4 Moorish morons, dumb UK subset, 2 tasty tasings and Blendino without attorney. On the 9th day of dumbness, Unclean Hands gave to me 9 times the stupid douchebag in handcuffs, 7 sloppy smackings, 6 stupid Karens, 5 windows smashed, 4 Moorish morons, dumb UK subset, 2 tasty tasings and Blendino without attorney. On the 10th day of Christmas, Dr. Dave gave to me 10 minutes wasted, 9 times the stupid douchebag in handcuffs, 7 sloppy smacking, 6 stupid Karens, 5 windows smashed, 4 Moorish morons, dumb UK subset, 2 tasty tasings and Blendino without attorney. On the 11th day of dumbness, Kick Rocks gave to me best action ever, 10 minutes wasted, 9 times the stupid douchebag in handcuffs, 7 sloppy smackings, 6 stupid Karens, 5 windows smashed, 4 Moorish morons, dumb UK subset, 2 tasty tasings and Blendino without attorney. On the 12th day of dumbness, Palmetto gave to me no nonsense trooper, best action ever, 10 minutes wasted, 9 times the stupid douchebag in handcuffs, 7 sloppy smacking, 6 stupid Karens, 5 windows smashed, 4 Moorish morons, dumbs, UK subset, 2 tasty tasings and Blandino without attorney.
I was muted. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I had to stop it there because when I posted that video last Christmas, it was great. Everybody loves it. Blah blah blah. 2 seconds, I got a Iggy and the Stooges playing at the end, and I got copyrighted. Like it was ridiculous. Like just boom, 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 boom. I'm like, come on, man, it's Iggy and the Stooges, dude. That should be public domain for the entire world to use because it's such a beautiful song. Oh, messed up. I want you here. Yeah, man. Now I wanna be your dog. And for some reason, it was just the perfect song to end that video with. Anyway, the only thing with that, I know that there's some controversy over the fact that I mentioned Dr. Dave. I know a lot of people don't like him, but I made that video last Christmas. This is before I was aware of all the nonsense and stuff that was going on with all that. I wasn't trying to, get political. 5 windows smashed. I'm thinking of doing a remake of that, specifically that song for Christmas this year, because, and I might as well let that cat out of that bag. I ended up posting it as is because I thought it was funnier with the fact that my singing in it was so terribly awful. But what happened was while I was recording that, I had a problem with my microphone and the way that my whole system was set up at the time to where I did the music and then I had to record the singing, but I wasn't able to record the singing while listening to the music at the same time. So I had to just sing the words and then try to edit it together to match the beat of the music. And then in some parts where I was just completely off, I'm like, you know what? That kind of makes it funnier. So I left it. But maybe this year I'll do a cleaner version where I actually sing to the beat and redo it. I don't know. Maybe add some new clips or some new stuff that's happened within the last year that I didn't have at the time. But anyway, now half an hour into the show, I'm ready to actually start the show. Thank you guys for your patience. I love you all so much. Thank you all for joining. We love the original. Thank you, Not a Brad. I appreciate that. Yeah, I should just do something different this year. My Halloween live stream went pretty well. Maybe I'll do a Christmas live stream. I don't know, because this is the other thing. For those of you who've been following me for a while, you would be aware that I took some time off last week because, again, now that me and my wife are split up, I got the kids half the time. She gets them the other half. So I just brought them back to her up in Wisconsin last week. So this was my first Halloween without the kids. I didn't have to take them trick-or-treating and stuff. And I mean, I hate not having them around, but I mean, that's why I was able to do a Halloween night live stream because usually my Halloween nights are spent with them. And then I want to, hang out with them on Christmas. But if I can't get back out to Wisconsin for Christmas, then maybe I'll do a live stream on Christmas Eve. But we'll see. I don't know what's going to happen because obviously, if I have the opportunity to spend Christmas Eve with my kids, I'm doing it. And y'all can, whatever, they're first no matter what. Wharf Bear, what's up? Yesterday, I was watching Blackheart Night's newest, and I heard Dr. Dave's voice. The video was talking down before I could. Yeah, I don't know. Not a brat. That's hilarious because my birthday, and I'm gonna obviously because I'm here anyway every morning. I'm gonna do a birthday stream on January 12th. I'm gonna turn 50, so that'll be fun. So anyway. Between now and then, I got this going. I got you guys to keep me up. Now, before I get into the meat of the program today, before I get into the show, one last thing I wanted to mention is I'm all right. And I should, oh no, not Rogue Nation again. What's up, Rogue? How you doing? So Before I get into meat and potatoes of the program, like I said, um, I got one last thing I wanted to say is that I should be fine. It's all good. No worries. Um, I have Roisin, what's up? I watched because I haven't seen it yet, and I love the show. I love Twin Peaks. Season one, season two, I've watched both of them several times over the years. Yesterday, I finally started watching season three, and I'm loving it. It's great. But the last thing I saw before I went to bed was episode 8. Now, if you're not familiar with Twin Peaks, I just realized this yesterday because I watched it. Episode 8 of season 3 of Twin Peaks is an absolute brain melting, insane David Lynch at the top of his game, surreal nightmare. And so if I say or sound or anything, again, I feel fine. But after seeing that, the last thing I saw before I went to bed, and then this the first thing I see since I woke up, I don't know if I'm having any lasting effects from the insanity I witnessed last night. But anyway, um, so yeah, I'm a Capricorn, born in January. Got my 50th birthday coming up. We're gonna have a nice little 50th birthday party stream that morning. It's gonna be fun. But in the meantime, let's get the show started, shall we? I want to begin because this was just posted this was just posted yesterday after my show. Um all right, this piggybacks off of some of the stuff I was talking about yesterday. So I thought this would be the perfect video to start today with because I was talking about this kind of stuff yesterday. And here's just another video proving that I'm right as always. So thank you very much. So, yes, accountability for all, Josh Abrams. And the idea that he just loves attacking women because they're an easy target. Two, the whole idea, and since Rogue Nation's in the house, this idea that, well, and this is a great example of my whole point, right? The excuse that Rogue, you made last time you and I spoke was that, well, you're exposing these rude city workers because if they treat me this way while I'm filming, how do they treat regular people when they're not? Well, it has nothing to do with the filming. If you acted like a regular person, they would treat you like a regular person, but you don't. You don't go in there and say, may I have a FOIA? You go in there and say, I need a FOIA because blah, 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 and you have to follow mine because I told you, so you have to bend over backwards to do what I say because I said it. Dude, can I have a FOIA? Sure, here's your form. Fill it out. Hand it in. Thank you. Have a nice day. Done. That's all you have to do. That's the way it works. But you go out of your way to make sure that that's not it. So going back to this new Josh Abrams accountability for all video I'm about to show. So one, it illustrates very well how he loves to pick on girls, particularly because he sees them as an easy target, I guess. Two, he's got his new girlfriend in the video with him, of course, because whatever. They can't go alone because they're like a gang, right? They always have to go in groups. Also, this video also illustrates another thing that I find to be so frustrating with these idiots is that, and I talked about this yesterday, and again, that's why once I saw this, I'm like, oh, I got to show this because this is just what I was talking about. The whole idea of the reason I'm in this building, the actual business I have here, not using the, well, my filming is my business to be here excuse, but the I'm here for a legitimate reason excuse is always I want to do a FOIA request or I want to do a complaint form or blah, blah, blah. But, and this is funny because the video of his that I covered yesterday, the exact same thing happened that's going to happen here. The reason he entered the building was to file a FOIA request on someone that he didn't even know existed until he walked in the building and interacted with them. So how can your motivation to walk through the door in the first place to be to put a FOIA request on this person when you haven't even come into contact with that person yet before you walked in the door? But the fact that you didn't even know this person existed before you walk in the door. And then, and this is what Josh does that really, really gets my goat. And I thought he learned his lesson after that lady that had some kind of like restraining order or something and didn't want to be on the internet so that whoever her stalker is could find her, quit her job in tears after Josh Abrams put her on his channel and he laughed about it. I thought after that, over time, with the way he was acting when him and Kate were teaming up against Chili, that maybe he had finally learned his lesson. And yet, his brand new video that he just posted yesterday, that I'm about to show you, is titled "City Official Cries Over Her Records Being Requested." So after you make someone cry by doing that, you're just gonna keep doing that, and instead of being a human and saying, "Oh my God, maybe I shouldn't have picked on this poor girl," he's like, that stupid girl. I made her cry. I made a girl cry. I'm such a man. I can make a girl cry by threatening her and being a jerk to her. Oh, I have to brag about my ability to do that because I'm a man." No, you're an ass crack, is what you are. And so, without any further ado, let me stop talking about the stupid video and actually show the stupid video because stupid people need to be exposed for their stupidity. So, here we go. Officer cries over her own records request by accountability for all.
I don't feel comfortable being recorded. Can you please not record me?
I know I have to. I have to document what I'm doing.
Okay.
But is this like one big office? Is everything located here?
Well, this is City Hall, but
Are these all the city offices right here? Like, where is the clerk's office?
so the city clerk is located here, but we do probably require permissions to be recorded.
You
I'm sorry,
require.
I can't hear you.
Yeah, I couldn't hear you.
I was like, because you're recording us at our place of work,
Yeah.
like we do require, like I agree with my employee. I don't feel comfortable being recorded.
Well, I mean,
What are you documenting?
right now you.
I understand that.
So
I mean, is there something we can help you with?
yeah, like I said, I was just trying to find the clerk's office.
Okay. And your name is?
I'm me.
Okay.
Yeah,
And I'm me.
we're together.
It's nice to meet you.
Hi.
What's your name?
My name is Rupal.
Hi,
And
Rupal.
do you have business with the city clerk or?
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. Did you have an appointment with them?
No,
Where
I
is
just
the
had
city clerk located?
Yeah, where are
The
they
city clerk
located?
is located here.
Oh.
I'm just trying to get information so I can go see if they're available or if they're in a meeting or if they're
Hey,
expected.
did you guys know?
So, real quick, I just want to point out right at the very beginning, okay? He comes in, your big excuse that you guys love to make, Rogue, Dave, whatever, is, well, we're just documenting how they behave to expose their rotten, no good, horrible, tyrannical, evil behavior. And how dare these public servants that are my slaves not bow down backwards to do what I say when I say it, right? Okay. So if a normal person walks in and says, "Where's the clerk's office?" and they say, well, who are you? Oh, I'm Bill so and so. I need to speak with the clerk. Oh, all right. Well, you go up to the third floor or whatever it is, right? So How are they exposing the way these people act with normal people when you won't act like a normal person? Normal people don't say, well, my name is me. Well, my name is, I don't give that information. Well, my name is, normal people don't say that. So this is not an accurate depiction of the way they would react to a normal person because he isn't acting like a normal person. How come you guys don't understand that? You go in there, it's not the camera, it's the cameraman. You're not acting like a normal person, so they're not going to react. You're baiting the reaction, and then you get mad at them for reacting that way. And see, I proved that they're terrible because look at how they reacted to me being a douche hammer. Well, don't be a douche hammer if you don't want them to react that way.
Oh, that there's cameras inside here and out in the front door.
What does that have to do
I
with the
should never
price of
knew
rice
that. I
in
didn't want you to
Detroit?
feel like uncomfortable because there are cameras in the city hall as well.
You guys know you're being recorded.
Right, but not
24/7,
by a
right?
private citizen walking into the lobby that I don't know who you are and I don't know what you intend to do with that recording.
I'll be perfectly honest. I intend to disseminate it onto my YouTube channel that has millions upon millions.
Oh,
And there are
brag,
people
brag, brag.
watching me right now as well.
Yeah.
They'd like to say hello.
If you like, you can have a seat in the lobby. I'll be right back.
I'm okay. I'm not a dog. I don't need to sit, but I'll stand.
Yeah.
No problem.
We'll wait. We need
Thank
the
you.
clerk's office. Thank you.
All right. Once again, offering someone a seat. See, there's this thing, and I mean, maybe it's not the frauditor's fault. Okay. Maybe I know and understand that in the modern world, schools don't teach etiquette anymore. Schools don't teach politeness or basic human decency anymore. That's not a normal part of curriculum. But when you walk into an office and the people in the office offer you a seat, that's called common courtesy. That's called good customer service. That's called them being polite. They're offering you a seat. These idiots, false narrative builders, are turning it into, don't bark orders at me. I'm not your dog. I'm not going to sit when you tell me to sit. Offering you a seat is general kindness. It's general politeness. And these idiots are turning it into, don't you dare tell me to sit. I'm not your dog. But again, they're proving how they're exposing how horrible these people are because look at how they treat the general public. You're not acting like the general public. You're acting like a douche canoe butt face. I could go on, but it gets worse. So
I was accidentally paused for the beginning of it. I was paying attention.
yeah, because you're a professional
Okay,
journalist,
building,
right?
Public works. So that is the city clerk, I guess. Okay. Hey, how are
Hi,
you?
how's it going?
Sorry, we were just looking for the city clerk's office, but I think we found it.
Oh, did they?
It's interesting because most city halls, like there's specific
Yeah.
offices. You guys are very open. I like it.
Yeah.
I like the building too. Is it built 2005?
Yeah.
It doesn't look.
2005. So did they?
Looks
let
a lot
the
newer.
clerks know that you guys-
I think.
Yeah,
I think so.
I'm not sure. One walked away without really saying much.
Yeah.
I think.
We were just trying to like, do a records
if not,
request.
we'll
but-
just kind of
Oh,
wait.
okay. That's what I was gonna ask. So you guys want to do a records records request?
Yeah, that'd be. Yeah.
Okay. Give me 1 second.
Thank you.
A records request? Oh, okay.
I think they got kind of like they saw us filming and they said we weren't allowed to do it. So like now I'm kind of sidetracked from my business. So I'm not sure if they're actually helping us or not.
Yeah, give me a second. So let me.
Thank you. Can
Thank
I get your
you.
name?
All right. So now, again, I chose this video specifically because it is a perfect illustration of almost every argument I make all in one. Josh Abrams is great at giving me a ton of content in one video lately. That's the one thing I do like is he's like, okay, so what is he saying? Well, he walks in, sees the lady behind the counter, tells him he's looking for the clerk's office, gets to the clerk's office, tells her he came in to get these forms. Now, when he finally does, what are the forms that he supposedly came in there for? They're Freedom of Information Act requests for all the information of the first lady he spoke to. So wait, the reason why you went in there was to file a Freedom of Information Act request on her. Although you never saw her before in your life until you walked in there, but that's why you walked in, was because you wanted her information. But you didn't even know she existed before you walked in the door. This is what's happening. Look at this. I'm not making this up. I'm showing you what happened. We just saw it. He walked in. He talked to the lady at the front desk. He asked her where the clerk's office is. Went to the clerk's office, asked for the form. Now watch what he does with it.
Sandra.
Very nice. Thank you, Sandra.
Yeah, give me 1 second. So
Okay.
that's the form.
Excellent. Thank you.
You're welcome. You look beautiful today.
All right, so this is requesting the employment contract, personnel file, and oath of office for both Rebecca and Rupel. So there we go. Rebecca just looked so surprised. I said, "Thanks, Rebecca." She didn't recall giving us her name, so she's kind of like, "Hey,
That's a beautiful name, by the way.
I like
Can
it."
you
Yeah.
go ahead and have a seat though? As I stated already, I don't feel comfortable being
Yeah.
recorded, and I have assisted you.
No, I mean, well, I'm going to
Well,
continue
that's
to
why we're
record
waiting.
you. So
Why are you recording me personally? I have nothing to do with the request that you're making.
no, you do. Your
And
name's
I've
on it.
assisted you.
I'm requesting the employment contract, personnel file, and oath of office for Rebecca and Rupel.
Yeah.
Your name's on it. Like,
So the employment request that you're making is on what do I have to do with you?
I mean, any citizen has the rights to request records. So I just want to figure out, well, I'm going to get a copy of your oath of office, your contract, your salary, just all the good stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
And why?
Yeah, the colors of this office are beautiful. Better than the gray.
Why?
Thank you, Rebecca.
Thanks, Rebecca. Rebecca was like so confused. She was like, "Wait, I don't have anything to do with your records request, but you do. Your name's
It's right there. Your
It's
name's
right
right
before
here.
Rupel." Yeah, but that was a building permit form. That's okay. I made a records request in the back, but she said someone's coming out right now, anyways.
Well, you can go, I mean, you filled it out?
Yeah, I filled it out.
Okay, you fill it out, I can stamp it in, and then we'll turn it into our city attorney's office.
Okay. Oh, the city attorney handles records.
Yeah,
Oh, that's a new one.
yeah, they do.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, sorry about that.
That's right. Rebecca was confused because she's like, "Oh, you can't film me. I'm not on the records request." And I showed her. I was like, "Well, actually,
Give me 1
you
second.
are on the
I'm
records
sorry.
request." You want to just get a stamped copy of that? We're still waiting someone from the city clerk's office. I'll be right back.
Said that it just makes it easier.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, I'm sorry. I got to say this now real quick too. All right. Again, going back to the whole idea of false narrative building. Okay. She's acting like she's confused why that the records request has nothing to do with her, but she is the records request. So I don't understand what she's confused about. She's confused about of why you want her records specifically. What the hell did she do besides sit behind her desk and answer your question? Like, she's confused because why is your records request for her? When she said, I have nothing to do with you, she doesn't mean I have nothing to do with your records request, because that's how you're painting it. That's how you're selling it to your audience is, but the records request is for her. So how could she not understand that? She doesn't understand why you would want to do a records request on her personally, her specifically. That's what she doesn't understand. But of course, you're not going to tell your audience that. You're going to tell them that she's just a stupid, dumb public servant that didn't comply to my demands and didn't lick my boots and didn't take me in the back and give me a Hummer. So I'm going to request her information just to spite her. Because I'm an asshole. I'm a professional asshole. I get paid for being an asshole.
I'm trying to be as helpful as possible. Do you want to write it?
No, so, I mean, you write
I can
faster.
write it.
You want me to hold your phone for you?
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right.
We're just requesting records for that.
What's scarier? A banana with 1 camera? A banana with 2. Oh, hey everyone. We're popping in to say hello.
I was just telling everyone that they're going to try and deny the records based off of a clause for unwanted invasion of privacy that they use, but they're directly attached to the oath of office. So
Mhm.
sometimes I encounter city halls that will put up resistance to try and protect the files, But then once I send them legal notice, they always give me.
Right. It's important. The
Why did
new
you decide to pick on this
transparency
lady?
app lady with 2 cameras.
You're filming her right now. Why did you decide to pick on her? What did she do to you? And you're
Yes,
going
we
out
have
of
to
your way
do
to
a
have this
records
discussion in
request
front of
twice
her so
for
she could hear
Rebecca
it.
and RuPaul.
That's a good jam, right, Becca?
Ooh.
Well, there you go.
Oh, I think we got her to sway a little bit.
Yeah.
Did you sway with us?
There you go, a little smile.
Ooh.
Records request always gets
See,
people happy.
I bet you she dances in the office.
I would.
Maybe
If I
when
had
we're
an
not
office-
looking.
If I had an office, I'd dance in it.
You dance anywhere, though. Okay, so did I see DMA in here, guys? Hey, DMA. Oh, yes, I did. Up here. Hey, car thief. DMAFA with 2 cameras is scarier than that. That's true.
Why are you
That's
filming
true,
her?
DMA.
Why are you filming her? Why are you filming her? Why are you filming her? Why are you filming her?
Yeah,
Why are you filming
I
her?
think so. We're still waiting for someone to come out to speak
You're
with
still
us,
filming
correct?
her. Why are you still filming her?
You can ask. I informed the bad guy I was under the.
She's working. Oh my God, what a horrible tyrant.
I would appreciate it if you didn't stand directly here. I do need to answer the phone, and that is private.
Yeah, I mean, if you answer the phone, no problem. I'll step away
Well, no,
while you're
like,
dealing
the
with
thing
private
is-
information.
The thing is, like, even if California being a 2-party consent state, I'm not one of the parties involved in the phone call, so I don't need to, offer any protection or privacy.
Right, but I mean,
Always here to educate, though.
Yeah.
We're ready
Common
to speak to you?
courtesy. Common courtesy from a frauditor.
Oh no, we turned the records
You got
request
a
in,
records
but
request?
Rebecca said
Okay.
that someone
Okay.
out back was waiting to
so we
speak
were
to
waiting for
us.
the person. If it was you, we didn't know. She didn't
Yeah.
tell us the person.
You don't know
Okay,
anything.
that-
Otherwise,
so
you
what
wouldn't be a
else?
frauditor. You'd have a real job.
Perfect.
All right.
Okay.
Perfect.
And what's your name? Mark? Awesome.
Are you the city clerk? Oh, what do you do here? Oh, community development director. See, like all the records that like with the stuff we're doing with really doesn't have any pertinence to your purview. Like this is kind of like outside the scope of what you do. Do you know who Rebecca's direct supervisor is?
Oh, Rebecca.
Yeah, her supervisor.
Do you know who her supervisor is?
Yes. I can give you guys.
Yeah, I guess while I'm here, I might as well. If he's not here, that's fine. I just wanted to kind of bend his ear a little bit about the goings on with Rebecca.
Okay.
All right.
I don't think I know there a few of the directors are on a call. So,
Oh, okay.
But yeah, no, certainly we'll.
All right, so, This is almost over.
And then,
They
That's
just,
great.
well, here, I'll let it
Yeah,
play
we'll
out for
hear
a
back
minute.
from you for maybe
Within 9 days, they'll get back
9
to
days.
us and let us know.
I believe it's up to 10 days. I believe is what the PRA, but if not, it'll be sooner.
All right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So we have your email.
Yeah.
And so we'll
All right, so here's what I'm gonna do. Now that we've seen the whole video, I'm gonna go back to the beginning because ultimately what he's saying is that one, the whole reason he came there at all was to do a records request on the 2 girls in front, even though he's never been in that building before in his life and had no idea who these girls were. Supposedly the reason he's there is for them specifically, personally. Number 2, now he's saying I need to bend her supervisor's ear on her behavior. So now let's go back to the beginning and watch her horrible, evil, rotten, no good, tyrannical behavior that she deserves to be treated this way and deserves to have her records pulled and deserves to have somebody talk to her supervisor about her unacceptable, horrible, rotten, no good, rude, evil behavior. Let's go back again and watch all of the horrible, terrible, evil, rotten, no good things she did. Let's see. Here we go.
But is this like one big office? Is everything located here?
Well, this is City Hall, but
Are these all the city offices right here? Like, where is the clerk's office?
so the city clerk is located here, but we do probably require permission to be recorded.
You
I'm sorry,
require.
I can't hear you.
Yeah, I couldn't hear you.
I was like, because you're recording us at our place of work,
Yeah.
like, we do require like I agree with my employee. I don't feel comfortable being recorded.
Well, I mean,
What are you documenting?
right now, you.
I understand that.
So,
I mean, is there something we can help you with?
yeah, like I said, I was just trying to find the clerk's office.
Can you believe the tyranny of this lady?
And
Look at how evil and rude
I'm
she's
me.
being.
Okay.
Yeah,
And I'm me.
we're together.
It's nice to meet you.
Hi.
What's your name?
My name is Rupal.
Hi, Rupal.
Do you have business with the city clerk or?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did you have an appointment with them?
No,
Where is the city clerk located?
Yeah, where are
The
they
city clerk
located?
is located here.
Oh.
I'm just trying to get information so I can go see if they're available or if they're in a meeting or if they're
Hey,
expecting.
did you guys know that there's cameras inside here and out in the front door? I should know if you knew that. I didn't want you to feel like.
Sorry, I paused it right there because I want you to take a good look at these two horrible, rude, mean tyrants. Look at their faces. Look at how horrible and evil they are. Can you believe that these two public slaves have the audacity not to run and jump and bark like a dog and follow his demands and kowtow to his directives as soon as he gives them? And do you realize that? Let's go back and look at the time, how long it took after he asked them the question for them to actually answer it, and how they went out of their way not to try and answer his questions. Listen.
Is located here.
Oh.
I'm just trying to get information. My name is Rupal.
Hi, Rupal.
Do you have business with the city clerk or?
Okay, now watch. He's going to ask the question and look at all of the horrible, evil, rude, nasty, no good things she does in response to his question. Check this out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did you have an appointment with them?
No.
Where is the city clerk located?
Yeah, where are
The
they
city clerk
located?
is located here.
Could you, dude, are you serious? Could you believe she did that? Can any of you believe how rude that was? Where's the city clerk's office? The city clerk's office is here. How dare she? Now that's what I call rude. She needs to be fired immediately. Well, you know what? We're going to do a records request on her. We're going to do a records request on the other lady just because she happens to be sitting there at the time. And then we're going to talk to their supervisor and tell them that we can't believe how rude and evil and tyrannical these women were. I asked her a question and it took her almost 1/10 of a second before she answered. How dare she take that long? Come on. Come on. How could any of you people support this kind of behavior? How could you think this is okay? How can anyone think this is okay? Oh my gosh. Yeah. And now see, I missed part of the conversation, but I love this too. I love this. This is actually, you know what, Rogue? I want to respond to this. I don't know the full conversation that led to this, but I want to respond just to this comment specifically. Be careful. Some carry weapons, and you could end up dead trying to be a badass over a camera. Okay. So instead of saying, hey, you know what? I go out and film people every day. People get upset about me filming every time I do it. Maybe that's a thing. Maybe people don't like being filmed. Maybe that's why every time I film, someone freaks out. So what am I going to do about it? I'm going to threaten to shoot them. I'm going to murder you because you don't like being filmed. Come on, Rogue. Like, oh. Most fun owners do. People who own fun houses. So, okay. So now let's make sure I understand this completely. Okay. So what Rogue Nation is trying to say is that he's fighting for our freedom. He's fighting for our rights. He's fighting for our Constitution. How is he going to do that? By filming us, whether we like it or not. Screw you if you don't like it. I got a gun and I'll shoot you. How about that, asshole? That's fighting for my rights and my freedom, is making me afraid to leave my house because the cameraman might shoot me. Because there's random cameramen everywhere that just want to make money off of YouTube videos of me. And if I don't like it, too freaking bad. If you don't like it, I don't care if you don't like it, because screw you and I'll shoot you, you piece of shit. Go to hell, human that lives on Earth. Frauditors are the only people in the world that matter. Frauditors are the only people in the world that have rights. Because if you film a frauditor, you're just a Cam-back and Karen. Wait a minute. I thought the whole point of a fraudit was to spread the word to the world that you have the right to film in public. Unless I'm filming in public, then I'm just a Cam-back Karen. But if you film in public, that's your civil right. I don't have any civil right to film in public. I'm just a Cam-backer. I'm just a Karen. What did NC Tyrant Hunter say yesterday? You're a Peter Puffer. You're a diddler to somebody because they were filming him. If you film a frauditor, nobody has the right to do that. But if you're a frauditor, you could film everything and everyone. And if they have a problem with it, you pepper spray them or you kill them. That's all. Akiro 808 State for $4.99. Thank you very, very, very much for the super chat. I appreciate the support. Where in the First Amendment does it say that you can enter a building with a camera to harass and antagonize people? It doesn't. That's the problem. It doesn't. Oh, boy. See, this wakes me up every morning, too, getting my blood flowing, talking about these idiots being stupid. Oh, boy. Love it. So let's see. What else do I got on deck? Oh, this next one I want to show you. This is interesting to me because these idiots. This video I'm about to show, it turns out this video is like 6 months old. And when I saw it this morning, I could not believe I missed it. I'm like, I have to cover this. I wish I would have covered it when it was new. I had no idea this video even existed. So check this out. Mr. Big, super duper, ultra mega awesome Long Island Audits, ultimate frauditor of all time besides Amagansett Press, the king of all frauditors, that even though all frauditors want all citizens to be their slaves and to lick their boots and to comply with their directives, and I'm not going to call them public servants anymore. I'm going to call them public slaves because that's how you guys think of them. So all public slaves and all humans on Earth, other than other frauditors, must immediately comply to your demands because you have a camera immediately. And if they film, they're just a Cam-back and Karen. So only you're allowed to film. Only you're allowed to give directives. Only you're allowed to give orders. And every single person, not just cops, not just public employees, but a random dude walking down the street must immediately comply to your demands, or they're just a Darren or a Karen or a Peter Puffer or a diddler or a piece of crap, and they need to go to hell and die because the only people that need to exist on Earth are frauditors, and everyone else needs to just die and get out of the way so they can get paid. So anyway, the captain, again, these people put Amagansett Press at the top of the pedestal, but he hasn't been active in a while, so screw him anyway. And even if he was, still screw him. But the other guy that they put on a pedestal is their king, the person that they bow down and worship and pray to every night. And instead of reading the Bible, they just watch Long Island Audit videos and say, oh, Long Island Audit, oh, please bless me with your wonderful, awesome, unbelievable method of being able to be passively aggressively rude to people. And please teach me how to be passive aggressive on your level of extreme terror. Turns out And again, this video is 6 months old. I wish I would have known about this ahead of time. I had no idea. I'm glad I found it though, because absolute Messiah, Long Island Audit, Sean Paul Reyes, Messiah to the cult of frauditors that worship him as though, we like people, and I'm not saying, anything against any other religions, but I mean, in comparison to like the Christian, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, they have Amagansett Press, Long Island Audit, and whatever, their own penises or whatever they play with when they're alone. So the the whole point I'm trying to make is that this video I'm about to show, I can't believe I didn't know this existed. Long Island Audits has decided to take the DMA train. He's auditing libraries? Libraries? Are you freaking serious? A library? Check it out, man. I ain't making this shit up. He actually did this. Man, this guy's so dumb that if he had a brain cell, he'd be 552 points higher than he is IQ-wise right now, and he'd still be in the negative.
Here in Irvington, New Jersey, we are here today to peacefully exercise our First Amendment right to film in public and publicly accessible areas, to promote transparency and accountability within our government, and to ensure that our public servants respect our rights and treat us with respect. Let's get into it. Local history room here. There goes our friendly reminder that they are always recording us in public places, but always seem to have a problem with us recording them.
False narrative. It's not the same. It's not the same.
why that
It's not
is.
the same. It's not the same. It is a false equivalency. You're full of shit, and your fans eat it up.
Excuse me? Who are you?
He's recording because he's an idiot.
Who are you, sir?
I am the security in the library.
You're the security of the library?
Yeah.
And your company that you work for?
Township.
You work for the government?
The township.
The township?
Yeah.
And your name?
I just asked you a question. Just answer me because I'm here every day. First time I see you recording in the library.
Oh, no. No
the
concern.
director don't tell me anything. The director don't tell me anything. Somebody's coming here. He's gonna recording something. Oh, that's okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I'm just recording. Just taking pictures in the library, public library. That's it.
The director is no.
The director? No,
Yeah.
I don't know who the director is. No.
You just come in recording.
Yeah. I don't know who the director is.
Who are you?
I'm an independent journalist.
Well, you need the approval of the director. You just come in and just come in like this and
Why would
recording the library.
Why would I need?
Why would you
I know
record
you're
the library?
Independent journalist, but they should know. Okay, independent journalist, strategy, whatever name of the media coming here today. You're gonna for such purpose. They're gonna come here. They're gonna recording. They might interview people.
Now let me ask you a question. So there's cameras in this library, right? You were just looking at them on the screen, correct?
What does that have to
cameras
do
here?
with you and your camera?
So did you ask my permission?
I asked
But
they said they
listen,
don't know.
did you ask my permission?
All right. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Wait. Okay. Let's build our false equivalency here, right? Okay. So I'm going to put cameras in my building so that if somebody gets beat up or somebody gets stabbed or somebody gets murdered or something terrible happens, I will have a record of it that I could pull and show in court. Hopefully, because although these guys like to say that them putting a camera directly on you is the same thing, if you ever actually look at security cam footage, half the time you can't even make out the person's face. You just see the shape of a human because it's not like these are HD 4K zoomed in on the face of every single patron that walks in. But that's how these guys like to build it. right? Because they do zoom in on everybody. They do purposely go out of. Look at the shot of this guy. You think the security cameras take that good of a picture of anyone? I guarantee you they don't. It's not equivalent. It's not the same. They only use the footage if there's a problem. They don't post it on YouTube. They don't make money off of it. It's a false equivalency, and all of you idiots use it because you're all stupid. Morons, dummies, idiots.
Permission to record me in the
I don't
library.
record you. I don't
There's
record.
cameras here, so I'm being
No,
recorded, right?
This is security library. There's camera outside, inside.
Mm-hmm.
Anywhere you
But
go.
I'm being recorded.
Even your building.
Yeah.
You say you're a journalist, right?
Yeah.
Even your building, where you located, you got camera.
That's my point. Everywhere has cameras, so just
Okay.
one more shouldn't hurt anything. This is a public building. This is a public building, sir.
What is your name?
Oh, I'm not going to give my name. I don't want to give my name.
That doesn't
You didn't give
seem
me
weird
yours,
or
so.
suspicious or odd at all. No, not even a tiny little
Beautiful American
bit.
flag here.
You can't videotape it here.
Who are you?
Who are you?
I'm somebody who
I didn't come
works
up
at
to
the
you telling you what
library,
you can
so
and
shut
cannot
the
do.
hell up
I'm
and
the
go
business
away.
manager here. You can't do any recording. This is a public place, and these people have to sign off on things like that. You didn't come and ask, could you? You just walked in and started doing it. You can't do that, so please stop recording.
What's your name, sir?
My name is Ronald Brown.
Mr. Brown. I don't need anybody's permission to film in a public space. This is a public
This
space.
is a public library, but you still have people in here. You didn't ask me, could you record me?
Sir, to be fair, there's cameras in this building, correct?
Yes.
Did you ask my permission before you started filming me?
Anybody who comes in here is subject to anything that happens in terms of the cameras. Yes. So you have to leave.
So what makes my camera different?
You have to leave, sir.
What makes my camera different
You
than
have
your
to leave,
cameras?
sir.
Sir,
Okay.
what?
Then I'm going to call the police and have them come. You won't listen to me. You won't listen to me. I'm trying to tell you can't video record, so you have to
But
leave.
why can't I?
Okay, so let me answer your question there, Long Island douche hammer face audits. I mean, whatever your name is. Here's the answer to your question. The difference is security cam footage is only used, it's only ever even viewed if there's a problem. It doesn't just automatically get posted and monetized. That's a big freaking difference. False narrative much? Asshole mio, asada mia.
Okay. You have to leave.
Does the
You have to
library?
leave,
Does
sir.
Sir, does the library have a policy against the First Amendment and
No, they
freedom
just
of press?
asked you to leave. In
I
other
don't
words,
understand.
leave.
I'm an independent journalist, just filming in public.
Where's your journalist cards?
Sir, why would I have to give that to you? Why would I have to give that to you?
Okay, again, let me answer your question there, Sean. The reason you'd have to give it to him is because you just claimed to be a journalist to him, which is why you would have to give the card to him because of what you just said.
Would you like me to wait for the police to come?
Outside, yes.
I will wait for them here. What's the big deal, sir? There's nothing. I'm not filming anybody in particular. Like I said, you have cameras here. What's the difference? This is a public building. Is there a library director here? That you're the library director, Mr. Brown? And do you have a policy against freedom of press in this library? This is a public library, correct?
Blah 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 blah.
I'm sure you guys have a copy of the Constitution here.
Because I'm a
I
professional
would like to take a
journalist.
look at it so I can
Look
show you
at
that I have
me
freedom of
filming
press in
this
this country,
random
sir.
dude for no reason.
It doesn't
'cause-
end in this library just because you decide it does. I'm not harassing anybody. Excuse me, sir. I'm sorry about that. The ultimate irony.
It's not irony. You're an idiot. All right. Look, this guy's really driving me nuts with this and DMA with all of his library audits. So I'm going to show you guys something else real quick because I think this is extremely important to understand. Rogue and Dave, and too bad that these idiots aren't in here. Pay close attention to this, all right? This is a legitimate news report. I know that you guys don't understand what legitimate news means, but check this out.
Crime
Pay
inside Austin's
attention.
libraries is up more than 30% over last year.
Over at the city's central library downtown, thefts are up dramatically, as are physical attacks. Most libraries already have security cameras, but now city librarians say they need more. KXAN City reporter Reagan Hackelman explains why the numbers are up and what it will take for the libraries to get more cameras.
For almost 2 years, some of Austin's libraries, including the Central Library, have been home to security cameras.
Now we have more eyes in our library to help us do our job better.
During that time, the library department has seen a 31% increase in crime.
Cameras are really catching a lot of the incidents that we would not have normally been able to identify before.
The city's Central Library has seen the brunt of that. So far this year, disorderly conduct at the Central Library is up by more than 1,000%. The same holds true for physical attacks or the threat of physical attacks. And the number of thefts up by more than 2,000%.
If you leave your property down on a table, so forth, a lot of times they disappear.
Branch libraries have also seen an increase.
We just had an incident a couple months ago, last month, I believe, where one of our security guards was attacked, seriously injured, and was taken to the hospital.
Earlier this summer, thieves stole copper from the AC units at a branch library, causing it to close down.
Had we had cameras, the guilty parties would probably be, already under custody of the police.
Now the library department is asking for a little more than $500,000 for more cameras to help catch people breaking the law and keep their customers safe.
Part of our duty is to make sure that when someone comes into a library, that it is a safe place.
And to do that, the library says they need more cameras, keeping an eye from above. Reagan Hackelman, KXAN News.
So is there a reason why they have cameras in libraries? No, nothing ever happens in libraries. We're just going to go audit in libraries to prove how evil and horrible and tyrannical they are and to expose their horrible, evil, tyrannical behavior. Giving people books to read. How dare they? Letting people use the internet who can't afford the internet. How dare they? Giving a quiet place for students to study for their schoolwork and to do research, to write their papers. How dare they? We're going to expose them. We're going to let the world know that they're allowing students to study. We're going to let the world know that they're giving people a quiet place to read. We're going to let the world know that they're giving people free access to the internet. The tyranny is out of control at these libraries, man. We have to expose it to the general public because we're investigative journalists and we're going to get down in the mud and the muck and expose the vile, evil desecration, the sheer audacity these librarians have by trying to give people a safe, quiet place to learn and to study and to expand their minds. How dare they? Everyone should just sit in their home, afraid to ever go outside because some frauditor is going to be out there with a camera or a gun or both. And if you don't like it, just stay home. That's a more free America. That's a better America, one where everyone is afraid to leave their house because you assholes are out there. That's what I call freedom. Thank you guys for working so hard to dedicate your lives to making everybody want to just hide in their homes and never leave. That's freedom. That's America. That's what this country's all about. Fear, intimidation, all the stuff that you guys accuse everyone else of doing, but you're the only idiots doing it. Great job, guys. Love you. Fucking assholes. I'm sorry. I try not to go that far, but, whatever's clever, Trevor. All right. So now, let's take a sip of my coffee. Well, first of all, because someone said something about auditors having guns. The thing that's great about auditors, especially people like SGV News, and Amagansett Press is another one. What's great about auditors is that they have created this wonderful thing. It's so awesome what auditors do, okay? Because thanks to auditors, especially if you live in California, if you leave your house, there's a good possibility that you're going to run into an auditor and they're going to pepper spray you, because that's what these guys love to do, is run around pepper spraying random people on the street. Now, that's what I call the same thing as what Rosa Parks did, because they always love to compare themselves to Rosa Parks, right? She sat on the back of the bus. Same thing as running around pepper spraying random people. Exactly the same thing. And talk about a more free country, a country where you have to be afraid of leaving your house because you might get pepper sprayed. Now, that's a good country. That's where I want to live. That's what I want for the. You know what? You guys are right. You guys are right. I'm sorry. I was wrong. You guys are right. The world would be better if me leaving my home meant that there was some idiot that was either going to pepper spray me or shoot me while filming me so they could make money on YouTube. That's the country that I want to live in. Thank you guys for fighting for that. Hopefully it'll happen soon, because I've never been pepper sprayed before, and I'd really like to experience that pain. That I think that'd be good for me. And thanks to you guys, there's a good chance that it might happen now, because that's what you guys want to do, right? Just run around trying to intimidate and harass and pepper spray people and maybe even shoot them, because that's the same thing Rosa Parks did. In fact, that's the same thing Martin Luther King did. Do you know how many people? I think it was like 782 people were pepper sprayed by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And that was how he got the civil rights bill passed, actually, was by pepper spraying random people on the street. If I remember correctly, I could be wrong on that. The statistics, if you look them up, they might be a little bit different. I don't remember the exact number of people he pepper sprayed for, asking him to stop filming. But he got the civil rights bill passed by doing it. So, yeah, that's America. That's a free country. That's great stuff. Oh, but again, I want to go back, and because what was this comment I just saw? Hold on. Let's see. I was pepper sprayed by the cops. Good. You probably asked for it. Let's see. Everyone is afraid of a camera. Land of the brave. Ha ha ha. All right. So I'm assuming, based on that comment, that you're trying to be kind of like funny or sarcastic. Like, well, if this is the land of the brave, then how come everyone's afraid of a camera? So I'm going to ask you a question, Rogue, and I want you to answer this in the chat. If we're cowards, I guess that's what you're implying, because we're afraid of cameras. We're not. We're afraid of the idiot holding the camera. But it isn't even fear. It's a whole nother thing. But then if that's true, if you guys are just look at how afraid these people are that I'm holding a camera. If that's true, then how come if anyone else ever films you guys, came back, like a little kid on a playground? He's a came back, or he's a Karen, he's a snowflake. But I thought you guys weren't afraid of cameras. But if somebody films you, it's the end of the frickin' world. They broke the number one commandment of frauditing, is never film a frauditor. So why is it okay when you do it, but if anybody else do it, they're just a snowflake. They're just cambacking. They're just a Karen. What's up, Kfar? Yes, thank you, Kfar. Thank you. Like, okay, so obviously people like Rogue Nation and David Perillo and all these frauditors live in some sort of an alternate dimension where they don't know and understand that these things actually do happen on Earth. So I try not to be as, stupid phone. I try not to be as crass as all this. I try not to be so, like just putting things in the most horribly disgusting terms. But obviously, these people are not learning. So I might have to do so to teach them, because they don't understand anything intellectual or intelligent because they're too stupid to understand it. So maybe I have to break it down into base, vile terminology because then maybe they'll understand what I'm saying. So I'm going to explain this, okay? There are these things in the world. I know you guys have never heard of this. That's why I'm going to explain it to you in simple terms, which may be offensive to some of you guys. So put your seatbelts on, all right? There are these things in the world, and there are a lot of them. They're called pedophiles, okay? These are men who like to film people, especially children, and then take the footage, take it, and even not just like pedophiles, but even just people in general, like perverts that like to film women in public places and then go home, look at the footage, and fap while looking at it. Okay. I just got canceled, but I have to explain this so that you'll understand. Okay. So, what you guys don't seem to understand is that that is a thing. So, when a random idiot who refuses to identify himself is filming you, that's where the fear comes from. It's not because we're afraid of a camera. It's because the person who's holding the camera might be a pedophile. The person holding the camera might be a pervert. I don't know. So I try to talk to the guy, and instead of helping me to understand and relax that this guy is just an idiot who likes to make YouTube clout money, they're going to not answer questions. They're not going to tell me anything. They're going to do everything and anything they can to guarantee they go out of their way to make sure that they reinforce in my mind the idea that they're up to nefarious activity and that they're going to use that footage to do something funky with it later. So that's fun. So anyway, that's where this fear of cameras comes from. It's not the fear of the camera. It's the fear that the guy holding the camera might be filming because he's a pervert or because he's a pedophile or because he's a weirdo or okay, let's take the sex out of it. Let's take the sex out of it. Let's say, oh, come on, Hezokuai. It's ridiculous. This isn't a sexual thing. How about identity? Identity. I told you, I watched Twin Peaks yesterday. My brain ain't working right. Identity theft. I keep turning them into one word. Identity theft. What about identity theft? What about filming someone so you can zoom in on their private information, especially in a post office? So you could take that footage, put it on your computer, zoom in on their personal information, and use that as a form of identity theft. How about that? Did you know that that's actually a thing? That actually exists on Earth? But none of you guys ever think about any of that stuff. All you think about is, how am I going to get paid on YouTube today? The last video I made, I got in an argument with somebody, and that got 20,000 views. But then the video before that, I didn't fight with anybody, and that only got 5,000 views. So I better go out of my way to make sure that I piss a lot of people off in my next video so I can make more money, because I don't care about rights. I don't care about freedom. I don't care about America. I don't care about exposing corrupt politicians. I care about getting paid. Sweet, sweet, sweet money, money, money. Money, 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 money. Money. I found a new way to get paid to be an asshole. It's called becoming a frauditor. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to dedicate my life to being a professional asshole. Yeah, because I'm an asshole anyway. But now that I realize that you can get paid to be an asshole, all right, let's go, baby. Oh, wait, there are these people online that are trying to expose that we're doing that. We better go pick on them and call them Karens and snowflakes and accuse them of being cowards and not going out there and doing their own audits, because that's what we want to do, right? Like, well, if we were real men, if we had real guts, we'd be professional assholes. We'd get paid to be assholes. Don't you know? That's what your civic duty is to be an asshole and get paid for it. Don't you know that? How come you don't get up off of that couch and go out there and be an asshole on purpose to make money? Come on, what's wrong with you people? How dare you sit there and make fun of us for being assholes and getting paid to do it, and don't go out and act like an asshole and get paid yourself? Don't you tell me that that's not cool until you go out there and you do it too. Because that's really what it's all about, right? The Constitution of the United States, I've read it several times, okay? And the Constitution specifically says, Article 4 of the Constitution says, and I quote, every American has the duty, not the right, the duty to walk outside and act like an asshole intentionally to get paid for doing it. That's what being an American's about. That's what freedom's about. That's what this country is based on. Didn't you know that? I'm sorry. I admit I was dumb. I didn't know that. I thought that freedom was about, being able to freely live your life without having to live in fear of assholes, professional assholes, right? But I guess that's not the world that you guys want to live in. That's not the real world. The real world is one where everybody's an asshole, and it's your job to kowtow to their demands and lick their boots and follow their directives immediately, because everyone who's not a professional auditor is a slave. And again, it has nothing to do with filming, because if we film, we're Cam-backing Karens. So it has nothing to do with filming. I'm going to say that again. If it was about filming, then when we film, we wouldn't be Cam-backing Karens, right? If it's about filming, then it'd be like, cool, you guys are filming. Awesome. Our message is spreading. No, if we film, it's, you're a Cam-backer. You're a Karen. You're a diddler. You're a piece of crap. You're a Peter Puffer. You're a terrible human being. How dare you film me? So again, it's not about filming, because if anyone other than you are filming, they're just a Cam-backing Karen. So it's about making YouTube money by being a professional asshole. You're like, I'm an asshole anyway. Now, thanks to YouTube, I found out that I could be paid to be an asshole. Let's go. All right. So now we're going to switch gears a little bit, and we're going to get back into the whole sovereign citizen thing. Yesterday, and I want to share this with you guys because it was brilliant the way he did it. This is from a Canadian SovCit. And last night, Artie did a stream where he read a SovCit court thing out loud, and it was beautiful. I mean, hearing all the crazy, insane SovCit rhetoric, oh, man, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Hey, Rogue, why don't you do that? Why don't you do that? Seriously, like, if that's the thing, if all you have to do to steal someone's information is walk up to the lady at the DMV and say, hey, sell me everybody's information so I can steal their stuff. If that's all you have to do, then why don't you just do that? Why go through all the pissing people off and making people uncomfortable and harassing people that are trying to do their job? Why not just do that? If the DMV just sells private information to random people, walk in there and buy it and be done with it. And then you don't have to keep doing this charade of pretending that you're a freedom fighter. Rogue Nation, charade you are. Anyway, let's check out Artie reading some sovereign citizen court documents from Canada, because I thought this was hilarious, so I wanted to share this with you guys. Artie's court perfection. Love the man. Here we go.
IKCAJ is the user who found this on r/sovereign citizen. And I will be doing a very special dramatic reading of the court case. This is involves a traffic case. I will not spoil the ending, of course, but I will do a dramatic reading for you guys because I believe the judge had a lost calling to be an excellent fiction writer, but unfortunately, or fortunately, he elected to go the route of being a justice of the peace or justice in Canada. So, without further ado, bear in mind that this is a 2013 case. So, yes, this is in the Her Majesty the Queen. But let us go.
Her Majesty the Queen and Matthew Duncan. The Ontario Court of Justice. Before Justice Fergus O'Donnell had on 27th of July and 23rd of October 2012, our decision rendered on 23rd of October 2012, reasons for judgment release on 26th of March 2013. You should get out of town, the man said. And so began the journey that resulted in my vow intersecting with Matthew. And thence to these reasons with a slight detour through territory that might infuse Lewis Carroll. I suppose that I should clarify that there was no menace in the man's directed me to get out of town. He was a friend and a colleague. In 2 careers, his suggestion had been that he and I should change positions for a fortnight, giving him exposure to the realities of the northern regions of Ontario, while I would enjoy a similar change of environment in the more sylvan environs of Niagara region. I might even see if he plays in the evening, he pointed out. And thus, I came to meet Mr. Duncan. At heart, Mr. Duncan's case was unremarkable. A minor alleged Highway Traffic Act offense led to a police-citizen interaction in the parking lot of Mr. Duncan's apartment building in the wee hours of the morning. A request that Mr. Duncan produce his license led to an alleged refusal, which led to an attempt to arrest him, which led to a struggle, which was captured on very poor quality video taken on a mobile phone, at the end of which Mr. Duncan found himself being placed under arrest for allegedly assaulting a police officer. Nothing unusual with all that, the bread and butter of provisional court. Of course, I hadn't counted on the free men on the land. Mr. Duncan was self-represented. Other than a mildly annoying disinclination on his part to stand when addressing the court, although he did stand with questioning witnesses, he was a rather pleasant young man. Unfortunately, he was a rather pleasant young man whose mind was filled with that my late father would have called notions. Footnote. I should point out that Mr. Duncan preferred not to be called Mr. Duncan, but rather Matthew. There was some mumbo-jumbo about the national person and the administrator, and that one of them might have been Mr. Duncan, and one might have been Matthew, and one, but not both, of them might have been the same person speaking to me in court while seated. However, when I read the affidavit of truth presented to me by Mr. Duncan, I noticed that it had been sworn by someone whose first name was clearly Matthew, and whose second name looked very much like Duncan, and certainly began with a D and a U. Since Mr. Duncan agreed that the affidavit had been sworn by him and accepted my proposition that there is no D and no U in the name Matthew, I continued to refer to him as Mr. Duncan through the proceedings. Section 8. It has been said, given enough time, 10,000 monkeys with typewriters would probably eventually replicate the collected works of Shakespeare. Sadly, when human beings are let loose with computers and internet access, their work product does not necessarily compare favorably to the aforementioned monkeys with typewriters. Thus it was the trial began with Mr. Duncan objecting to us proceeding on the basis that I had no jurisdiction over him. Mr. Duncan provided me with an affidavit of truth, a rather substantial volume that appeared to me to be the result of somebody doing a Google search for terms like jurisdiction and the like, and then cobbling them together in such a way that it makes James Joyce's Ulysses look like an easy read. This hodgepodge of irrelevancies relied upon by Mr. Duncan was one of the misbegotten fruits of the internet. Finding it was a waste of time of Mr. Duncan's time. Printing it was a waste of trees, and my reading it was a waste of my time and public money. With that volume as a starting point, Mr. Duncan spent some time explaining to me that I had no jurisdiction to try him, that he was not a citizen of the province or the country, and that he was not a person as defined by my definitions, and there was no contract between him and me to give me status to sit in judgment over the events all.
I want to know what filter he's using on his voice. This is awesome.
As a perfectly pleasant young man, that on this issue he seemed a bit obtuse. I suppose that if perfectly pleasant young men were to let astray from the time to buy drugs, alcohol, breaking hearts of the rubbish on the internet, then the dockets of provincial court wouldn't be quite as plump as they usually are. After much toing and froing about jurisdiction, either Mr. Duncan or Matthew or his administrator, I'm never quite sure which, they were all talking through the same corporeal form, answered a plea of not guilty on Mr. Duncan's behalf, and we proceeded to the evidence. The Crown's first witness was Constable Paul Ellis, a relatively junior member of the Niagara Regional Police Service and the alleged victim of the assault to resist arrest. Constable Ellis testified that on the night of 1-2 December 2011, he and his partner Constable Pilkington were on uniform patrol in Jersey at 2:48 a.m. when they saw a car driven by Mr. Duncan make a right turn onto Slusser Boulevard in Grimsby without signaling the turn. The car then pulled into the parking lot of an apartment building on Slusser where Mr. Duncan lived, and the police car pulled in after Mr. Duncan's car. Mr. Duncan and Constable Ells got out of the cars, and Constable Ells asked Mr. Duncan for his identification, specifically a driver's license. Later, in response to a rather leading question on a highly material point, Constable Ells said that he also asked for even a verbal identification. He said that he and Constable
Okay, hold on a second. Wait a minute. So, first of all, I apologize. I had to go to the bathroom and refill my coffee. Got a nice fresh cup here. But then I come back and apparently there's something going on in the chat. I'm going to go piss off a crackhead and then act surprised when he retaliates. There you go. I mean, see, this is what I'm saying. This is why last week when I interviewed Rogue on this channel, things like this are why, like, sometimes I can actually talk to him. Sometimes he says things that make sense, right? What do we talk about? What do auditors do? They walk into buildings and they mess with people. And it's hilarious that he made this comment. For those who can't see it on the screen, it says, I'm going to piss off a crackhead and then act surprised when he retaliates. So here's what's funny. Here's what's funny about that. Okay. So, all right, let me break this down because there's actually a lot to unpack in this little statement by Unclean Hands here, or Unclean Hands. Love you, Unclean. I didn't mean to sully your name and reputation by associating it in any way with Rogue Nation. I apologize fully and completely that I misspoke. I see your name popped up in the chat, and that's what put it in my head. So I'm going to piss off a crackhead and then act surprised when he retaliates. Now, this is when Rogue Nation says things that actually make sense. But what's funny is that it's like, that's the problem. Why do these guys not do that? Why don't you do that, Rogue? Why don't you go piss off a crackhead and act surprised when he retaliates? Because he might actually do something. So what you do is you go after city workers who are at work and you know aren't going to do anything because they can't, because they're at work and because you're filming them, right? A crackhead doesn't care if they're being filmed. That's why you don't go after him, and then act all surprised when they retaliate, right? They don't even retaliate. All they do is ask you not to film them. But in your world, that's the second sin. I'm going to actually, you know what? I got to make a list of the 10 commandments of frauditors, or the list of sins, maybe the 7 deadly sins of frauditing. Number 1, worst thing a human being on earth could possibly do is film a frauditor. If you film a frauditor, you have absolutely broken the number 1 commandment of frauditing. The number 2 commandment of frauditing is to ask them not to film you. You cannot, under any circumstances, tell someone that you're not comfortable being filmed, because if you do that, you need to be fired from your job immediately. And I've just exposed your tyranny and your evil and your cowardice by letting the world know that you don't feel comfortable being filmed by random idiots. Everyone should be more than happy to be filmed by random idiots. Don't you understand? That's what America's about, is being happy that random idiots shove their cameras in your face. That's the point. Why don't you go piss off a crackhead and act surprised when he retaliates? Because city workers are an easy mark, and they're not gonna retaliate, and you know it, and that's why you target them. Well, I target cops. Yeah, and once again, that's what's beautiful about cop watching and going after cops. You know they're not going to do anything. You know they're not. Maybe you'll get arrested, and and then they'll send you home after you do a slap on the wrist. Ooh, it's an easy target. You know they're not going to do anything because you're filming them, and they can't, because they're a cop and they're on duty. They can't do anything. And if they do, you're dead. And okay, fine, you exposed the evil cop that killed you, but you're dead. So who cares? Why is it? You're talking about KFAR? Oh, KFAR pisses off crackheads and then acts surprised when they retaliate? Well, it doesn't matter. Like I said before I read this off, I went to get coffee and go to the bathroom, so I missed the context of it. But the context of it doesn't matter, because it's still a fact that you guys go out of your way to attack soft targets. You go out of your way to mess with city workers and with cops because you know for a fact they ain't going to do a damn thing about it. That's why you target them. And when you're an idiot like Silence Boy or Casey Camera Boy or NC Tyrant Hunter, you also attack the general public. Because if they do something, it gives you an excuse to pepper spray them. And there's nothing these guys love more than pepper spraying random people. They love it. It gives them a boner to pepper spray random people, especially STV News. That's how he gets off. That's his sexual fetish, is pepper spraying people. Random people on the street. They love it. Oh, gives me the chills to think about how awesome you guys are with your stupidity. Too bad you weren't here the other day, Rogue. I showed one of your videos and you missed it. So, oh well, shit happens.
Hilton repeatedly asked for identification who warned me Duggan, and he would be arrested if he failed to do so. At some point in this interaction, Constable L said that Mr. Duggan pulled out a red binder, and Constable L said, and told Constable L that he would be giving him a fee schedule. He told the officers that they had no jurisdiction over him, and accordingly had no authority to arrest him.
Uh-oh.
Oh, technical difficulties there, Artie?
Sorry.
And then, Constable Ellis then told him that he was under arrest for failure to identify under the Lower Traffic Act. Mr. Duggan then allegedly pulled away from Constable Ellis' efforts to grab his arm and started walking toward the apartment building. Constable Ellis repeatedly told him to put his hand behind his back and stop resisting arrest, but Mr. Duncan put his hands to his front instead. A struggle ensued, with Mr. Duggan ultimately being subdued and handcuffed about 5 minutes after being told he was under arrest. Constable Wells described the alleged assault on him as thus. He had tried to ground Mr. Duncan by grabbing his left leg. While he was bent over for that purpose, he felt a push and pull on his back. At this point, Mr. Duncan was off to Constable Wells' right, and Constable Pingleton was off to the right of Mr. Duncan. Later, when they were up by a fence near the back door of the building, Mr. Duncan was swinging his arms. Mr. Duncan ignored a warning by Constable Pilkington that he would be tasered, and he was, in due course, tasered, taken to the ground and handcuffed. In cross-examination, Constable L said that he and his partner were directly behind Mr. Duncan when he failed to signal. Constable Shane Sicard is an officer with the NRPS Technology Crime Unit. He led in evidence a YouTube video of the interaction between Mr. Duncan and the police that Constable Pilkington had brought to his attention. Given the darkness, the video was of very poor quality and not particularly helpful. Constable Pilkington also testified. He generally confirmed Constable L's description of the events surrounding Mr. Duncan's stop and the rest for identification. Our Constable Pilkington's description of Mr. Duncan's alleged assaultive behavior were beyond doubt described by Constable Hills. By Pilkington's telling, early on, Mr. Duncan tried to push both him and Constable Ells and was kicking at the both of them. Then, when Constable Ells was bent over to grab Mr. Duncan's leg, Constable Pilkington had a better viewing angle and understandably could actually see Mr. Duncan grabbing Constable Ells' body armor from behind. Constable Pilkington responded by grabbing Mr. Duncan off Constable Pilkington, and they all continued their dance towards the back door of Mr. Duncan's apartment building. Pilkington said that Mr. Duncan tried to grab his taser, but Pilkington kept him away from it, and Mr. Duncan continued resisting. According to Constable Pilkington, Mr. Duncan then got away from him, and Bells and Pilkington moved in behind Mr. Duncan. From that perspective, Pilkington saw Duncan kicking towards Bells and had his fist raised in the air in a haymaker position and swung it at Constable Hills. In response to this, Constable Pilkington said he drew his taser, removed the barbed cartridge, and stunned Mr. Duncan with a direct contact between the shoulder blades.
Yay!
This caused Mr. Duncan to go to the ground, whereupon he was cuffed, although, according to Constable Pilkington, he continued to struggle after being handcuffed. It will be noted that there were some discrepancies between the versions of Ells and Pilkington. Pilkington makes no reference to Duncan about the use of the taser. Pilkington refers to substantially more assaultive behavior than...
All right. I have to babysit the chat again real quick. Come on, kids. Behave. Don't make me come back there. Look, David, I get it. You're part of the family now. You're here every day. I get it. But I trust my mods, and they didn't ban you. They timed you out for 300 seconds, okay? And I'm not going to bitch and moan too much about that because, look, and I really honestly don't believe that you're stupid, Dave, okay? You know that some of the things you say can get under some people's skin, okay? Now, if they banned you outright, that'd be different. I don't like that unless someone is saying, racist things or sexist things or homophobic things or, getting crazy, that I would say, okay, if you get rid of them, get rid of them. But a timeout is different than a ban. You weren't banned, you were timed out. There's a difference, okay? So it is what it is. But again, if you actually were banned from the chat, then I'd go back, I'd read the chat, see what was said, and make a determination like I did last time where I put you back in, right? But a timeout is different. My mods are good peoples. It's all good. Take a deep breath. If you have to crack open a beer, do it. Relax, all right? It's not the end of the freaking world. Anyway, back to Artie. This was supposed to be fun, you guys. You kids behave. Look, all you got to do is say, hey, look, here's the deal, okay? Unclean Hands has the baddest ass badass mustache ever. He's awesome. His videos are awesome. And David and Rogue like to come in here and they support the channel. So I don't have a problem with them being here as long as they're not being sexist or racist or blatantly violent. But at the same time, when you're poking the bear every once in a while, it's going to take a swipe at you. And I have no control over that. Quit poking the bear if you don't want to get swiped. How about date? How about date?
Elves, including the raised haymaker towards elves, who Cookie to believe was actually face on to Mr. Duncan at the time of this significant punching motion. These are arguably not trivial discrepancies, although they may reflect the inherent differences in two people seeing the same event from different perspectives. Cookie did specifically testify that the reason for the traffic stop, which led to the demand deal of the device, which led to the arrest for failure to identify, was the failure to signal the right-hand turn. We did not finish Mr. Duncan's trial on that first day. As I left court that day and contemplated returning in the autumn to finish trial, it occurred to me that I would have to write rather a lot to address the various procedural issues raised by Mr. Duncan in his tone and his verbal arguments. Now,
Real quick. I'm sorry. I have to throw this in here because I just saw a comment from Captain Happy and I apologize in advance. Dave, I love you. You're part of the family. It's all good. But this is too funny. I've got to feed off of it. David wants the feelings to police to show him to a safe place. So I have to do this. I have to. I'm sorry. I have to. Oh, David, were your feelings hurt when they banned you? But I thought that feelings didn't matter. I thought only the Constitution and the exact specific letter of the law mattered. Do you want Rogue Nation to pull out his doll so you could show him where it hurt your feelings when you got timed out? Sorry, I had to throw that in there. I had to. You can't throw out the thing and have the bait and expect me not to bite. It was too funny. The ball was right there. I had to knock it out of the park. You got your poor little feelings hurt. But if anyone else gets their feelings hurt, they're just a snowflake and a Karen. But if you get your feelings hurt, oh no. How dare you time me out in the chat for a minute. Get Rogue to give you his doll so you can point out where it hurt your feelings when you got timed out.
ladies and gentlemen, you cannot get me wrong about this. I'd be happy to
It's
write,
a
but
joke.
Came home
Relax.
about matters of substance relating to the guilt or innocence of the defendant and the liberty interests of a citizen vis-a-vis the constabulary. Damn it. But the idea of having to disentangle all of that palaver, nonsense, and gobbledygook in the document Mr. Duncan presented to me was not particularly appealing. There is an ancient proverb to the effect that those whom the gods would destroy, they first make mad. The prospect of disentangling Mr. Duncan's adopted argument in his volume of internet-derived gibberish made me wonder if, for some reason, the gods had me in their crosshairs. This concern, however, was dissipated in mid-September 2012, when the gods made a benevolent nature clear. If December 7th, 1941 is a day that will live in infamy for anyone faced with freemen on the land or similar litigants, the 18th of September 2012 is a day that will shine in virtue. On that day, Mr. J. Justice J. P. Rook The Associate Chief Justice of the Alberta Court of Queen's Bench delivered a judgment in
What's
the
up, Julie
matrimonial
Weaver?
case of Meads versus Meads, 2012, ABQB 571. Given that this judgment weighs in at a mammoth 736 paragraphs, I wonder if these litigants are perhaps more prevalent in Wild Rose Country than they are in Ontario. Be that as it may, Justice Rook's comprehensive judgment of what he labels organized, pseudo-legal commercial argument litigants of various iterations wonderfully frees me from having to address any more effort up to the jurisdictional arguments raised by Mr. Duncan. As I have said, there is a lot of patent rubbish on the internet. If Mr. Duncan wishes to while away a few hours more productively on something that actually makes sense, I commend Justice Rook's judgment on family.org to him. There is no merit to Mr. Duncan's jurisdictional argument. Such arguments are a waste of the court's time and resources, a selfish and/or unthinking act of disrespect to other litigants, and deserving of no further attention, energy, or comment. With the distraction of the jurisdictional issue safely off stage, we now have the luxury of focusing on old-fashioned notions like the merits of the case. Indeed, even before Justice Rook's gift to the judiciary, when we broke at the end of the first day of trial in July, at which point the Crown had closed its case, I suggested to the self-represented Mr. Duncan that he might want to use some of his internet skills to look at the actual issues related to the question of assault to resist arrest in the context of the Highway Traffic Act investigation. That it seemed to me that a defendant with counsel might be inclined to advance a non-suit motion in response to the evidence I had heard. When we returned to continue the trial, before calling on Mr. Duncan to announce that he was calling the defense, I asked the Crown to comment on whether or not there was a case to meet. I asked this because it seemed to me that whatever evidence the state might irregularly have possessed, the evidence as articulated at trial was seriously deficient. It also seemed to me that the case was based on an incomplete understanding of the Highway Traffic Act, i.e. that, in the words of another New Ancient Matthew, the Crown's case was a house built upon sin. After hearing from the Crown, I dismissed the charge against Mr. Duncan with more details to follow, these being those reasons. It is self-evident that a charge of assault to resist arrest requires a proof of a lawful arrest. This is not a charter issue. It is a fundamental tolerance of the offense. The requirement reflects the important fact that in a democracy, agents of the state operate within limits. If an arrest is unlawful, resistance to that arrest is not unlawful. There are relatively few offenses under the Highway Traffic Act for which the police have a power of arrest. In the present case, the purported underlying arrestable offense committed by Mr. Duncan was his failure to identify himself under the Highway Traffic Act. In turn, his obligation to identify himself must be based on a lawful exercise of police power. In this case, under the Highway Traffic Act, while there may be other lawful foundations for a police demand to a driver to identify himself, the only one articulated in this case was Mr. Duncan's failure to signal his right and turn, which would originally make out an offense under Section 142 of the Act. The problem with the Crown's case is that it is not an offense merely to make a turn or lane change without signaling. That is not what the Highway Traffic Act says. Rather, the Act provides a materially narrower offense as follows. Yada, yada, yada. On the evidence laid and articulated before me in Mr. Duncan's trial, there is absolutely no basis for me to conclude that the operation of any other vehicle might have been affected by Mr. Duncan's allegedly unsuitable turn. Neither officer had further to any impact on them by the alleged failure to signal. Neither did they refer to any other vehicle being affected by it. Indeed, there's no reference whatsoever by either of them to the.
Anyway, that goes on for like another 2 minutes, but all the really, really good, important stuff was already mentioned. Basically, it goes back to this whole idea that all these arguments in court are absolutely meaningless, and the courts are getting sick and tired of hearing them. That's another reason, again, why the Brooks case was such a big deal to me, because he's making the same arguments. And that's the point that I always try to contend is if you, okay, hold on a second. Is this the video you promised to show yesterday? David, unfortunately, I thought you were here early, so you might have been, you might not have heard it. I don't know. As I was coming on, like I start every morning at 7, and it was like 6:56, my computer crashed, and I lost everything I'd been working on for today, and I had to just throw everything back together real quick. So there were a couple things that I wanted to go over. I don't know if one of them is specifically what you're referring to, but there were a couple things I wanted to do today that I lost in that. So I'm going to have to go back, tonight or tomorrow morning and get it all back together and make up for anything I missed today. And then, of course, go over my normal stuff I'm going to do tomorrow. But yeah, Tamara, the way the Christmas video, yeah, I showed that earlier. Yeah. But as far as the study, yeah, basically what that whole thing was about was the Canadian court basically saying this idiot brought all this sovereign citizen arguments to court, represented himself, mumbled a bunch of gobbledygook nonsense he pulled off the internet. And the judge says, I specifically told him, why don't you use all of that time and effort you put into investigating sovereign citizen garbage on the internet into studying actual real laws that exist on Earth that humans actually have something to do with, right? But what I'm talking about is good morning, No Fork, Southern Pokey District. Good to see ya. Always good to have you here. The chat's just been going crazy because Rogue Nation and David Perillo are here, and they're like little kids poking each other back and forth. It's actually kind of fun to read and follow up on. But anyway, so yeah, your senses or ability. See, these guys are talking. Rogue Nation is trying to explain that his misinterpretation of the law, his misunderstanding of basic common human decency, and the fact that we don't understand is kind of like, it's like he's saying that we're being closed-minded because we will not accept a misstatement of facts, because we won't accept a misinterpretation of law, and because we don't understand how the mind of a narcissist works. Like, we're not being closed-minded by understanding that being a rude, offensive, horrible, disgusting human being is being a rude, offensive, disgusting human being. So for us to be open-minded, we have to just accept, like, okay, so again, and this is why I keep going back to Darrell Brooks, because he's making these same sovereign citizen arguments in court, which are the same arguments that frauditors make in court. And it's like, he's the perfect example to me because he killed 6 people. And if you guys are right, if we're just being closed-minded, then he should be free right now. Oh, but with murder, it's different. But again, this is where you guys aren't making the connection, and this is why we call you guys idiots, because one, you're either too stupid to make the connection, or two, you do make the connection, and that means You're doing it on purpose because you do understand the difference, but you do it on purpose, which means you still deserve to be called names. You're an idiot. So here's where the bumping head starts, right? Let's say that you make the argument that, okay, let's pretend I'm going to use simple terms and objects so that even the lowest intelligence people can understand, right? Pretend that this object I'm holding in my hand is in and of itself actually a law, okay? And your argument is that this law is unconstitutional, okay? That means that this law does not apply to anyone because it's unconstitutional. So now this is gone. Oh, but that was the only thing stopping me from murdering people. So since that law doesn't exist, that means murder's legal. Yeah, but murder's something different. But if the law doesn't exist because it's just a statute, because it's not a law written in the Constitution, and I want you to think about this very carefully. I want all of you to think about this very carefully because the crux of your argument is always based on the Constitution. Where specifically does it say in the Constitution these specific words? It is illegal for someone to take an AK-47 and blast a bunch of other people's brains out with it. It doesn't specifically say that. So it's legal. Let's do it. It's legal. Let's just go around and start shooting everybody. It says life, liberty, and happiness, but it doesn't specifically use the words AK-47 or blowing people's brains out in a public school. So therefore, any state that makes that specific thing illegal, that's just a statute. That's just an ordinance. Statutes and ordinances don't mean anything. So let's just go around and kill everybody. And again, if you say, well, that's a ridiculous argument, tell Daryl Brooks that. Tell him that. But because of the misinformation and disinformation that you guys have dedicated your lives to spreading all over the internet, idiots like him read this crap and believe it because they're the open-minded ones. And we're closed-minded because we don't believe in stupidity, because we don't believe in nonsense. We're closed-minded. If somebody says something, if somebody tells me that there's no such thing as dirt and that stuff on the ground is actually water and you can drink it, am I a closed-minded person because I don't grab a glass of dirt and try to drink it? Or am I smarter than the idiot who told me that? That doesn't make me closed-minded. That makes me a person with a brain that can think. And again, let's see. Let me get caught up on this chat because I want to see what you guys are talking about here. This seems like you guys are more fascinating than. Let's see. It's just like election results. Great analogy. Let me go back a little. I want to see where we're at. How come nobody ever sees droves of people line up outside a limited public forum waiting to go in and video record? Let's see. Have you ever been to a concert or a football game? I know that in large venues, sometimes they'll ask you not to record, but I mean, you got 100,000 people filming the band or the game or something, it's kind of hard to stop them all. But if you post it on your YouTube channel, the NFL will come after you and shut it down. So I don't know, man. Statutes are law, silly, unless they apply to you, right? Then they're not. I don't get why you would say that, Rogue. Because the auditor argument, the absolute auditor argument is that sign doesn't apply to me because that's just a statute. That's not a law. So why would you admit that you guys are wrong and then call us call us closed-minded for knowing that you're wrong. You just admitted you're wrong. Statutes are law. Exactly. So what's your argument? Oh man, everything these guys say breaks down when they say it. Let's see. Rogue Nation is too small-minded to understand what you're saying. A sign is not a statute. Oh, right. But see, what I love about the whole sign thing, and I've mentioned this before, and maybe that'll be, maybe that's what I'll do tomorrow for my overall subject, is I'll try to find videos that illustrate this point. But I love the fact, what's up? I love the fact that would you guys, with the frauditors, walk into a place and it has a sign saying no recording, that sign doesn't apply to you because you're God and everyone needs to bow down and worship you because you own a camera. So the city slaves and the general population are all basically, their purpose in life is to kowtow to the person with the camera. Now, I know that technically they have cameras too, but if they use their cameras, they're snowflakes and they're Karens and they're cambackers. So it doesn't apply to them. It only applies to you guys. So you see a sign and you say, well, that sign doesn't apply to me because I'm a frauditor and frauditors are gods and gods can't be arrested, right? That's what we were told by the king of all frauditors, Dr. Douchebag Fatface, Glenn Serio. So you don't have to follow what a sign says. But if there isn't a sign, your argument's going to be, well, you guys need to put up a sign. That's always the thing. That's always moving the goalposts, right? No sign, you guys need a sign. Sign doesn't trump my rights. No sign, you guys need a sign. Sign doesn't trump my rights. Can't win. They put up a sign, you're going to say sign doesn't trump my rights. They don't put up a sign, you're going to say you guys didn't have a sign. In fact, you, Rogue Nation, I just saw a video the other day where you're like, well, over there's a sign that says restricted area, so I'm not going over there. But over there's not a sign that says restricted area. There's no sign there, so I'm going in there. So we want more signs to ignore and to complain about and to say, you don't have the legal right to put that sign there because that's a violation of my rights if you put that sign there. But if they don't put the sign there, oh, well, I guess that means I could go in there and do whatever I want because I'm God and everyone else on the planet has to worship me and bow down before me and do what I tell them. And if they commit the cardinal sin of filming me, they're a cambacker. And there's nothing worse that a person could do than to film a frauditor. I cannot stress that enough. I need every single person in here to understand that the worst possible action, murder, rape, incest, none of those things matter. Filming a frauditor, using your First Amendment right to film in public to film a frauditor, that is the number one cardinal sin of the universe. No one can ever possibly be allowed to do that. And if they do, they're a cambacker and they're a Karen and they're a snowflake and they need to be destroyed immediately. Let's pepper spray them. Let's pepper spray them. Yeah, let's take the SGV News approach and just run around pepper spraying everybody, and Amagansett Press and just run around pepper spraying everybody to teach them, because we're here to educate the public that if anyone has any issues with a frauditor, they are immediately to be beaten into hell and die and suffer the most painful, disgusting, horrible thing we could possibly get away with legally. Because I have the First Amendment right to film, but you do not. Only frauditors have the right to film. Anyone else films, they're a cambacker, they're a Karen, and they're a piece of crap. Screw them. But I'm trying to educate them. The only thing that you guys are educating anyone is you're teaching the world that you guys are scumbags and need to be shut down. That's what you're educating people about. Let's see. Please tell me the point of trying to FOIA camback footage from an employee. What a useless. Hey, Nakoda, what's up? Yeah, that's the thing. Like, yeah, I'm not stupid. I know I'm exaggerating for comic effect, but it's true. The point I'm trying to make is a legitimate point, and I still have never heard anyone give me any kind of a logical answer as to why, when someone who's not a frauditor expresses their First Amendment right to freedom of the press to film, they're just a cambacker. They're just a Karen. They're just a snowflake. Or like NC Tyrant Hunter say yesterday, they're a Peter Puffer. They're a diddler. They're all these horrible, evil, rotten, no good things. So wait a minute. I'm supposed to believe that your entire purpose of existence is to educate the public that it's okay to film in public. But if people actually take that and start filming in public, they're cambackers and they're Karens. That's like saying that is just like saying that I'm going to teach all the children in the world how to read. But don't you dare let me find you reading a book. If I find you reading a book, I'm going to rip that book out of your hand and smack you upside the back of the head with it. But my goal in life is to teach everyone how to read. My goal in life is to teach everyone that it's okay to film, but you better not let me catch you filming. Come on. How does that make sense? How does that make sense? How does that make sense? I know how. It doesn't. Stupid, dumb, dumb, stupid, dumb, 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 dumb. Laughing at idiots is always fun. That's why we like laughing at you guys. Let's see. What are you saying to Kim there? So you don't have to follow work policies because they aren't law. If I work there, I have to obey them. That's why you don't work, right? So that you don't have to obey anything. Another thing that's great is that all right. Good night, Akira 808 Steak. Glad you came out. Always great having you around. Frauditing being fun for frauditors is truly what makes the horrible scum valueless creatures. Yes, that's the thing. That's one of the reasons why I'm so against it. And it makes me so mad is because it's like these guys get off on it. These are either bullies who after school, thanks to like SGV News is a perfect example, right? He's a punk and a bully who found a way to legally get away with giving people a hard time and pepper spraying people on the street because he's filming himself doing it. Cool. And as a bonus, that's his job now. So he's found a loophole in the law where it allows him to legally get paid to harass and pepper spray random people on the street all day, every day. What could be a better thing for a bully and a punk to do with his life, right? We're opening you guys by being auditors and creating this whole thing through your audits and spreading it through your audits. You're opening the door for people like him to do what he does. It's a beautiful thing. Thank you for educating the world that we need to allow punks and bullies to punk out and bully people for profit. Thank you for teaching the world that that's a thing. And then the other types are your incel type people who can't get any kind of attention or anything any other way than by doing this. and they get an adrenaline rush from it, and they get addicted to that adrenaline. And it isn't even as much about the money. Of course, the money's a big bonus. And I love the fact that Frauditor Troll has had several interviews now with people who have specifically said straight out, look, all these guys are liars. I'm not one of these guys. I always tell the truth. The fact of the matter is, I was watching Frauditor videos and I realized, hey, wait a minute, these guys are getting paid to be an asshole. I'm an asshole. I'm going to start doing this so I can make some money too. And they just flat out said it. And that's it. So I don't know. There is no argument for the whole frauditing movement. It's ridiculous. And the fact that there's so many people doing it and it seems to be growing just means that you guys are spreading evil, misinformation. The devil's in the details, and that's what you guys like to do. Is if you believe in that kind of stuff, then that's what you guys are doing. You're taking little bits and pieces of Satan and spreading them out there in the world, and having other people take their little bits and pieces and they're spreading it all over. And we're making the world a more horrible, rotten, evil, no good, rotten, crappy place. And we better accept it and kowtow to it and worship you guys as though you are gods because you're the frauditors. And it isn't even about cameras anymore, right? Because again, Camback and Karens. It's not about filming, because if I film, I'm a Cambacker. If I film, I'm a Karen. If I film, I'm a snowflake. So it isn't about filming. It's about you filming. You get to film. And here's another thing that drives me nuts. You guys want to fight something? I don't know if you guys could hear in the background my phone ringing every 2 seconds because of these freaking bots that call the house all day, every day, trying to sell me shit. Why don't you guys fight that? You want to actually do something? Why don't you try to shut that down instead of trying to spread this idea that getting paid to be an asshole is a great thing and that everybody should be a professional asshole and that that's what life is about? Why don't you fight something that means something? Why don't you go after those idiots that keep calling my house trying to sell me bullshit? Why don't you try to help homeless people, give them money, give them food? Well, all you're doing is walking around outside all the time. Use that for the good of the human race instead of to make the human race even worse, to spread scumbaggery, to spread douchebaggery, to spread rudeness and vileness and disgusting behavior, and make it more palatable and more acceptable to the general public through your misinformation, your false narrative building, your stupidity. I love you guys. And on that, I'm going to wrap it up with my gnome of death. Love you guys so much. Thank you all for joining me. I'll be back tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. I'm going to wrap it up there. I got some shit to do today. I've been cursing a lot lately. I apologize for that, but whatever. Life happens. Uncle Artie's Bar and Grill isn't even here this morning. He's usually the one who encourages me to do the stupid stuff. Oh, yeah. I'm all shook up. Good night, everybody. Or good day. Love y'all. Thanks for coming out. Bye.